you out on that. So before we get to that, though, if you'll pull out on the left side the kind of the time frame, the white sheet that has the big block that says process overview. I just want to kind of orient you to what actually is included. It's not rocket science, so we don't need to spend a lot of time on this, but just kind of, if you're implementing Pearls in your agency, the first thing you have to do is recruit clients, get people who into the program. So depending on your setup, this may come from within your agency. If you have case management kind of program or other services, they may refer to the Pearls counselor and refer. Or it may be that you get clients from outside. So other social service providers, Meals on Wheels, whatever it might be in your particular area and agencies, connections that you have. But in that process, there's usually kind of an initial screening. And what a lot of people do is use the PHQ-2. So you ask the first, wherever it went there, you ask the first 2 questions on the PHQ-9. That's kind of just a general introductory, do they seem to have depression? That they might be appropriate. And then they could be referred to the Pearls counselor for more in-depth screening for eligibility. And so screening is the next step. This sometimes is done over the phone, maybe some initial kinds of questions. You might go through the PHQ-9 on the phone, or it could be done in an in-person visit. And then in that first, if it is an in-person visit, that you might get through that. You might get through the problem list generation. You might actually start working on a problem, or that actually might happen in the next session. But there are 8 sessions that are spread out over 19 weeks. The first 3 are every week, the next 2 are every other week, and then the last 3 are once a month. Now, life intervenes, and so sometimes people go in the hospital, or they go on vacation, or you get sick, or whatever it might be. So, there is some flexibility there. But generally, remembering it's a time-limited program over about a 19-week period. Those sessions are all very similar, as we've talked about before. So you always administer the PHQ-9. You want to kind of remind people about the principles of Pearls, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. And you want to try to go through the worksheet, the Pearls worksheet, and do a PST, or do a problem with problem-solving therapy. The first session, as we said, has the baseline questionnaire that has some additional questions. Generate your problem list. Get releases, if appropriate, to talk to any other providers they might have. And then the last session, you do the final questionnaire. And then in follow-up, you don't just kind of, this is the last visit, see ya, lots of luck, hope life works well. Usually you try to have some phone follow-up about once a month. A fairly brief call just to kind of check in, see if they remember the how to use the PST worksheet, reinforce any learning, answer any questions they might have. And then wrap-up's kind of whatever your agency will need to kind of wrap them up as a Pearls client. They may be continuing to get services at your agency in other ways, but in terms of the Pearls work, it would be done. Notify any providers that they're now kind of graduated from the program, and that would be it. Fairly simple, straightforward.